Your freedom has been shattered, but what these words do carry is the truth that can never be forgotten. Every animal that has been cut up and treated as no more than a meal did not want to die. They fought till their last breath. Why did this happen to them? We will never forget them. We will remember. If we could hold a minute's silence for the lost lives here and the lost lives of animals all around the planet, and for the recent death of Reagan Russell, who was crushed beneath the wheels of a livestock lorry while bearing witness. It's not food!
It's violence!
It's not food!
It's violence!
Animals want to be fed!
Just like us!
Animals feel love!
Just like us!
Animals scream in pain!
Just like us! Not want to die! Animals do not want to die! Animals do not want to die! Animals do not want to die!
Human slaughter is a lie!
Animals do not want
To die!
Human slaughter is a lie!
Animals do not want to die!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Animal liberation!
When do we want it?
Now!
Animals feel pain!
Just like us!
Animals feel joy!
Just like us!
Animals feel love!
Just like us!
Animals want to live!
Just like us!
It's not food!
It's violence!
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 Human slaughter is a lie!
Animals do not want to die! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks if you've recently commented, liked, subscribed and viewed my videos recently. I really do appreciate it. I just want to give a quick update with my running. I haven't been running as much as I originally intended to. I am running about 20 to 30 miles a week at the moment, which isn't great, but I am planning to improve that in the coming weeks and get back to, 40 to 50 miles a week, which I had been doing about a month ago. I just want to say a massive thank you to the organisers of the event and everyone who attended. I thought the event itself was run really well and the whole event went really smoothly. So the march went really well on Saturday. We marched from Pack Mecca Slaughterhouse, where we saw a lot of lambs ready to be slaughtered, unfortunately. And we marched from Pack Mecca Slaughterhouse near Birmingham Town Centre to the market outside Boring. There was a bit of a lack of turnout due to COVID, which was to be expected, but overall it was a really good day and I felt like it was quite an impactful march. So I thought I'd use the footage from Saturday, from the march, to segue into today's topic of conversation, which is why do people march? Why do people march for animal rights and other social justice movements? And I think from an outsider's point of view, you must be thinking, well, you're not going to close all slaughterhouses down in one day, in one march. And that's not the point of the march on Saturday. So I'm just going to go through a few points and discuss them. So why are marches an effective form of protest and why are they used all across the world? Well, for one, it's the physicality and the impactfulness of having a large amount of people supporting one message. So if you can imagine a billboard, that's obviously going to impact whoever sees it. In the same way a march would, it has a message at the protest, there'll be banners and the rest of it. But also there's the people behind it. Now imagine if you saw a billboard by itself. Yeah, that's quite impactful. You might see it and it might plant a seed and you might go out and buy that product next time you see it in the shop. But imagine if you saw that billboard and there was 1,000 people next to it giving really good reviews, saying how much they supported it and even making chants about it. Well, that's obviously a much more powerful message and a much more powerful form of advertisement. And obviously with a march, you're going to be marching across the city, so plenty of people are physically going to see it. But as well as that, there might be people taking pictures or videos. They might post it to their social media. So the outreach can be quite large, and the effect and the impact of a march can reach, a lot of people quite quickly. I think sometimes people can be a bit reluctant to do marches. Maybe they don't know the impact a march can have. But I think what you have to do is put yourself in the victim's shoes. So in this case, obviously we're marching for animal rights. Well, put yourself in the position of a pig who's about to be put into a gas chamber, or a chick that's about to go into a macerator. And you soon realise that the march is a really good form of activism, because if you were in the cages, you would want somebody walking along the street chanting for you as well. So I think it really helps to give yourself motivation if you think about who you're marching for and putting yourself before whoever you're fighting for. And I think with marches, they can cause a bit of disruption. When we marched, there was a couple of roads that were closed off briefly, so nothing too mental. But obviously in other places, there can be quite long marches. That can sometimes have an economic impact as well. I think another great benefit of going to marches is that you meet people that are like-minded and that have similar views to yourself. Obviously at the moment, I think about 95%, 97% of people aren't vegan. So it does really help solidify your own views and values when you do go to these marches, as there's a sense of solidarity and belonging, and you feel like part of the community, which I can only think can benefit your own mental health. I think it's nice to know people are fighting for the same cause and feel the same way you do. Another point is that it is a great way to network. You can find other ways of doing activism, or you can find other people to network with. It's good to make more friends within the movement itself, as that can bring positive outcomes. So as well as getting the message out there, you obviously want to inspire people to take on that message, but you also want to inspire activists as well. So I know there were a few people that messaged me after the march on Saturday, talking about how they wanted to come to the next march or go to a march in the future. So there is that positive as well. So there are about 800,000 vegans in the UK, while there was about 50 to 100 people that were at the march on Saturday. So that begs the question, where were they on Saturday? We need to make sure that people that are vegan are speaking out for the animals, and we've got to make sure that we put the animals first on certain days, like when we do the marches or do activism. We leave our ego at the door and we just focus on the animals for a few hours. I mean, they get slaughtered by the billions, the trillions. They go through so much abuse, so much pain, so much suffering. The least we could do is put a few hours to the side and do something for them, which is, either we march in the streets or, there's plenty of forms of activism you can do. But I think for the amount of vegans there should have been a bit more of a turnout on Saturday. Another really important part about marches is that if you're doing them every year for animal rights, that would be more of a case, as it's more of a long-term problem. I know with the A-level results, for example, that march would have only been at that time because it was quite an immediate response to, an immediate action. But I think the thing with a march that goes on every year is that it will, drive the numbers up each year. So it's important that, we carry on going to these marches because they're going to get bigger and bigger each year until, they won't be able to ignore us. And that's going to be the point at which, there'll be a breaking point and, maybe we can close certain places down like Pac Mecca, like these other slaughterhouses in the UK. Now, these are just a few of the thoughts I've had about, why we do marches. But if you've got any other ideas about why they're impactful and a good form of activism, then please put that down in the comments and I might bring it up in another video.